Dora, 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 the Explorer. Y'all remember? I just played around. But this is a new request from another one of you guys. It's so many characters. It's so many characters to get to for this request for this series. It's so much fun just doing this series, and I came up with this as a little idea. So during the downtime when there's not too much going on, I know we have quite a bit going on with this game right now being free for PlayStation Plus. People getting into the game, trying the game out for the first time, or maybe they're just getting trophies and just experiencing it with their friends to see if it's any good and whether or not they want to commit to the game as another platform fighter with all multiverses coming out with the open beta in less than a month and just all these different things and updates that this game has to offer that's different. And they have so many characters that can be evolved, and this is just one of many characters that I think belong in this series. And it's awesome to see that someone brought her name up, Dora the Explorer, and just the standalone Nick Jr. franchise of characters. They have quite a bit of characters that can fit a role and play a role and fit and be a part of this roster, I want to say. And I don't know what you guys would think of her, but I came up with my own ideas, and I wanted to make it as creative as possible and just reference the show, some of the characters that I'm going to bring up that she befriends on her journey, and they help each other out, and she's always she's always into some kind of new adventure. She's always doing something different every single episode. If you guys seen this show and grew up watching this as I did, Dora the Explorer, there's so many shows on Nick Jr., Blue's Clues, and so much more, who's also another requested character for the series. Dora is just always on an adventure every time you watch an adventure. Every time you watch an episode, I said every time you watch an adventure, but it's basically a whole new journey for her every time. And she's trying to get to some kind of place in particular, or she has someone that needs help, and she has to get to that location and try to do what she can to help out and rescue them if they need help, and whatever it is that they need, a certain item, or maybe something that they're missing, a character or a part of their family that's missing, that's come up missing, or some kind of particular item or somewhere that she plans on hanging out and spending time in for that particular episode. So that's basically what the show is about, if you haven't seen Dora the Explorer before. And it's so many different sort of characters that she's going to encounter, that she encounters throughout her journey in the show. But we're going to get started. Let's just bring up the roster, and we're just going to leave it here. I guess we'll just go to training.
Training.
But the one thing, you know what? I'm going to just go to the different. Let's go here. Because I want to also talk about something too.
Fighter.
But select your fighter. But this is all about Dora's character requests. We're going to start with the stages, and just as usual, everything that I'm going to mention is going to be in the description. If you guys don't want to watch the full video, you don't have to. And you guys can let me know what you guys think of this particular character in the show in general, or maybe you have not heard of her, and maybe share your thoughts on what you think she could play like, and if she belongs in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. But just outside of Nickelodeon characters, they can expand and reach out to the Nick Jr. sort of franchise of shows and a list of a variety of characters they can get in this game that could probably be really deadly and dangerous, and I think she could be one of them. But let's get into it now for her stages, and I came up with a couple of them. I did some research, and Treasure Island, I think this is a cool little stage that could be fitting for her. And Treasure Island was part of some kind of particular episode where they went to find Pirate Pig's treasure. That's what the whole storyline of this particular episode was about. It was showcasing Treasure Island, and I think this could be an ideal stage for her. And just being an explorer, just always on the move and always on a different adventure, Treasure Island would be perfect. And it just references that the Pirate Pig's treasure that she was in search of, and that was the goal of that particular episode, and trying to make her way there. Another particular location that's ideal, Play Park. And I just want to do it. Where are we going? Play Park. Where are we going? Play Park. Where are we going? Play. Just for the song, just for different things like that, it'll be really cool. But this is an episode that I wanted to reference. It was called Bark Bark to Play Park. That was the episode, and that was their journey. And play park consists of a slide. It was like an amusement park or just your usual playground. A slide, a sandbox where people can play in, a swing set, and more that could be included for this particular stage to battle on. And it could be something like Glove World or what we have, or outside the Ferris wheel because they didn't have it. It wasn't as big as SpongeBob's Glove World from the SpongeBob universe, but it was its own part with a slide, swing set, and so much more for your regular part that you go to hang out on. So I referenced that particular episode, and I was trying to find the main setting for this particular show for Dora the Explorer, but I couldn't really find anything. But all it says was that the Peruvian jungle was on the main setting for this show for Dora the Explorer, but I wanted to expand. So it could be Treasure Island. They can get Play Park and design those two ideal stages. They don't really have to do any extra digging or any try to get a different location or another stage to go inside with the show to represent it. Play Park and Treasure Island is definitely ideal for the show itself for Dora the Explorer. But those are the stages, and they're always going somewhere new. But I think those are the two best places that I could come up with for stages that people will probably end up will like to play on, and it will give you some movement for the stage. And Play Park itself being a nice little a creative stage that the developers can really take from the show and include with her for paid DLC. But now it's time for the costumes. She wore different sort of costumes and throughout the show and different episodes, even the movies. I haven't seen all the movies, but I did some research on the research to do some digging. And just as usual, just like I usually mentioned from the other character request videos, each character only has one costume for per character. These characters need more costumes. I think one is just too few. It should be more on the shop. They can make a separate shop to have these DLC costumes to be purchased. So let's share the ones that I came up with. Snow Princess from Dora Saves the Snow Princess, uh, sort of a movie. Fairytale Adventure, which could resemble Dora's Fairy Tale Adventure movie from that these special episodes or special movies I referenced for these costumes, and you guys can look them up too. She would look good in these different costumes, and I think many players will want to buy them because they look different outside of just her pink shirt, yellow shorts, and the white shoes that she wears, and the watch and stuff like that. That's going to be her original outfit, of course, because everyone's used to seeing her with that. That's going to be her original costume, but they could purchase her Snow Princess outfit, her Fairy Tale Adventure costume alternative, and then see how they just came out with birthday hats. I wanted to reference Cat Dog for this. It made me think of this right away. But see how Cat Dog is wearing a birthday hat. She wore a birthday hat during Swiper's birthday party. It was called Swiper's birthday party episode. It was basically from that particular episode where she wore a hot pink party hat with yellow stripes. See, I almost said, let's see the hat that Cat is wearing. It can look something like that, but it's gonna look different colors. It's a pink party hat with yellow stripes. So it's gonna be something similar to what they have on. So that could be a quick little alternate costume that's gonna be free. I'm gonna see why that could be paid DLC. It's just a party hat. But the other costumes that I mentioned, her Snow Princess outfit, Dora's Fairy Tale Adventure outfit, could be potential paid DLC for costumes. She has so many other outfits on. I think she had like a yellow dress on, but I forgot which one it was. As far as the episodes and movies, but she wore so many different costumes. So I think these are just some ideas to share for paid DLC that could really be good, and just an easier one for the developers for the party hats. So just something quick and easy for them to put together, just in case. But now it's time for the taunts and animations. And now something else I want to say too is I still can't believe this. We got our voice lines now. We got voice acting in the game. Now Dora's going to be able to say her quotes from the show that people know of, and I'm going to share those ideas right now. So Dora's best quote from when they were getting ready to go on any sort of new adventure, every single episode, it just never gets old. She would speak Spanish. She would say "Vamonos," which means "let's go." That's the meaning for the Spanish term for "Vamonos." See what I'm saying? So she said, Vamonos. And when they're going to get ready to go on the next adventure, and then they'll sing the song the ideal place, just like I did with Play Park. Where are we going? Play Park. And then they'll just say all those different locations of where they're going, and they try to figure out which way to go. And they check their map of which areas they have to go through to get to where they need to go for that particular episode. They're looking for somebody or a particular item, and someone's in need and stuff like that. So since we have voice lines in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl now, she could definitely say this for a little taunt for the enemy. Vamonos! Like, come on, let's go. Say, come and get it. See what I'm saying? She can do something like that. Vamonos! Almost like Danny Phantom. Just having fun yet? But she could do something similar to that. But she can have her own little pose when she says Vamonos, just like from what she does in the episodes with her hand motion. See what I'm saying? So that could be something that could be a iconic taunt, and it's perfect for her voice line. And just something she can do, like she can bring the map out for a little taunt, where Dora can open her map to check which she can so-called check which way she needs to go, but she could just be teasing the opponent to look at the map. You know what I'm saying? Just something like that. I think that'll be pretty cool for a taunt, a little map check, quick taunt that's safe, that's not gonna take too long, and then something that I think would be perfect. I think these are my favorite ones that I came up with. This is my favorite one. See how Michelangelo says shredder no shredding, but this is from Dora the Explorer. This is iconic. That's where it's from. Swiper no swiping. She could say this as a voice line from the show for her, to reference the show. Swiper no swiping. Maybe Swiper the Fox can be in the game. Not saying he has to, but she can say that. So when she takes out opponent, Swiper no swiping. She can say that just as a funny little taunt, and I would buy that. I would buy that taunt. and it can be included with a costume, so they can really bundle it up to make it that special and valuable. You can unlock this taunt when you buy a particular costume. So you say swiper, no swiping. It's the perfect voice line from the show to represent. Everybody knows that particular quote, and it definitely belongs. And since we got voice acting in this game, Dora can definitely say everything that she wants to say. And then just another one, some other last two before we move on to the Moveset to wrap up. She can say Hola, which is Spanish for hello. So she can wave at the opponent to tease them. Hola! Just like she says in the show. Dora can quickly wave while speaking. Saying, Hola! Hola! Start waving. And then a winning animation I came up with. So when she gets the dub and destroys you on the battlefield, a winning animation that's also iconic and memorable from the show. It's a song called We Did It. She could do that. We did it. We did it. And then did y'all remember that? We did it. We did it. They could just put that song in the winning animation when you win as Dora. That'll be perfect. We did it. Or if it's not part of the winner circle animation, it could still be a nice taunt for the player to spam and just have fun. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. And then she could just she'd be smiling, just full of joy, and on the field doing the taunt. So even if it's not a winning animation, it could still be a taunt. So I just had to keep Michelangelo on the screen. So she said shredder, no shredding. So it could be something like that. Don't y'all think she could say something like that that's perfect from the show? But now, that's our taunts and animations for my little ideas. Let me know what you guys think. But definitely Vamonos, Hola, Swiper no swiping, and so much more can be included for this particular request. So let's get into the moveset. So I came up with a good variety of ideas. I'm curious to see what you guys think of this. But Dora, I think she could really be one of the most dangerous junior characters to be included in this game, because she's rocking a backpack. You don't know what she got up in there. She can do different things, and that's what I'm just going to start with. And I included her backpack as part of her moveset, where Dora can dig through her backpack. It almost makes you think of like how Finn can dig in his bag and he buys items. She's not going to have something like that where she's spending coins to buy a power up or upgrade. She's going to have different tools and different various items to find and get what she needs. Just how it references the show, she always says, "Well, you check my backpack for a particular so and so or something that she needs to maybe get across the bridge or maybe some scissors or something like that." I have those different parts of ideas, and for her moveset. So I put the backpack in here, and just to start with, she can have sticky tape that she can get from her backpack. So I included this. I didn't want to just come out with it's all items from her backpack and just keep coming up with ideas for her offensive capabilities from the backpack strictly itself. I didn't want to do that. So I just came up with two selectable items, and it could be more that the developers can come up with if they want to. So sticky tape is an iconic memorable item that they used in the show. So I came up with sticky tape where that can be placed on the field to trap the enemy for a few seconds. And then safety scissors. And this is stuff that she actually uses in the show. So safety scissors, she can, as a projectile, Dora can throw scissors of different colors across the screen and in midair. Maybe they can pick between two colors where a different color will probably maybe red and green, for example, just right off the top of my head. The two scissors can be different colors, and that particular color of that scissor or that pair of scissors might do more damage. They could do something like that, but they don't have to do it like that. They could change the colors and just not make it like that if they don't want to. It's still going to be a good move for projectiles throwing safety scissors at the opponent to really inflict some damage. And then I utilized her map, not even just as a taunt, but I put it in part of her moveset where Dora can mark the enemy to increase her accuracy of projectiles. So she'll lock on to you from her map, and it pinpoints the target. So you don't get that. So that's why I came up with that as a little idea for her map. So she could pinpoint the target and your mark, and the scissors will follow you. So it combos. So you can't let her finish pinpointing her target to mark her target with the map to pinpoint the location where she wants the scissors to go. See? So it makes it a little bit creative. I just tried to be creative and have the map be something to utilize that particular item that she always carries around with her alongside her backpack. A flashlight, another item that she uses in some particular episodes. I came up with a flashlight combo where Dora can beat you down with a flashlight. Dora can use a flashlight, and it can also be charged up to stun enemies as well as light attacks for like a little series of light attacks. It made me think of a little bit of Multiverses, not gonna lie, with how, because I love playing as Velma in Multiverses as one of my favorite characters. See how she hits you with a flashlight, but she doesn't have a combo with it. So I came up with that as a unique technique that Dora could use for her flashlight, so for her light attacks. So just a little idea of a little flashlight combo for some light attacks on the ground. A rope swing I came up with. Dora can swing from a rope in midair to knock the enemy back and with force. Just things that she does in the show. Now, I see how just when you watch Dora the Explorer, she says, who do you ask for help when we don't know which way to go? She's going to be able to call upon some help from her friends. So maybe if Boots is not in the game or Benny and stuff like that, I came up with this as a unique idea called Ask for Help, or maybe Help Wanted, or maybe just a help call where Dora could call upon Boots. I did some references to the characters. I watched the show. I remember these characters. Dora could call upon her best friend Boots, who is her traveling partner basically. She can call upon Boots, Benny the Bull, and Bugga, for helps to distract the enemy and maybe inflict some damage. And she could also call her cousin Diego. Go Diego, no! Go Diego, no! He can get in the game, maybe possibly as his character alongside the Dora, but they can be a part of her moveset where it could be assists. See, they can probably get assist characters, but this would be probably unique to have her call upon her friends to ask for help, to assist her in the fight, to make it a little bit easier. So they'll come out for a few seconds. They're not going to stay out the whole battle. That's a little bit too overpowered. Boots running around and Benny and Bugga flying around. That was the one of the bugs that would fly around where she was trying to carry the cookie to feed to her babies. I think I forgot, but something like that. It was in one of the episodes. But they can call it. She can get some help from her friends. Benny the Bull, Boots, her cousin Diego, something like that. And it varies. It'll randomly they'll come out randomly. They're not going to always come out in order. Maybe the player could be able to choose between her friends. That'll probably be something that can be unique. But I just thought about that as a little idea. So since she asks the viewer for help, she can be able to call upon her friends for help in the fight. And it also is good reference to the show. And another item that she has, um, not saying she has to pull this all out of her backpack. She can have all this started part of her moveset for her abilities. A magnifying glass. So I don't want to just make it just some magnifying glass that she pulls out and starts using out of nowhere, but a magnifying sun ray that she can activate. And just a little bit of an idea. Let me see. Let me just pick characters.
Helga.
2K. I'm not even gonna fight them.
Captor. Select your
Just an idea I wanted to showcase and share this. I really like just coming up with this idea with the magnifying glass. This ability can only be used with a stage that has light only. So I don't know what you guys think. So with this, you see how you can create, if you guys don't know, with magnifying glass, when the sun is out, you could create heat with the magnifying glass, or with that ray of light from the sun above to create fire and some heat. So the sun rays can pass through the lens of the magnifying glass, focusing the heat on the enemy. And once you get hit with this magnifying sun ray from Dora, it can inflict a burn status for a short period of time. So you'll gradually be taking damage. So if you play Dora on Jellyfish Fields, or just the two perfect examples because they're too dark. There's two stages that's light and darkness, or just basically I can go top and bottom. With Jellyfish Fields and Harmonic Convergence, Jellyfish Fields has the light. You see how bright it is? It's going to be a good technique that you can run. So depending on the stage, this ability may or may not be available. So you can counter almost. I don't know what you guys think about it, but maybe you could counter a little bit for a counter pick. I'm going against Dora. Let me pick a stage that doesn't have too much light, so she can't use her sun ray, her magnifying sun ray technique. So if it's a stage like Harmonic Convergence, doesn't have too much light, or maybe the Flying Dutchman ship, she's not going to be able to use her magnifying sun ray. But hence why, meanwhile, on Jellyfish Fields, it's got a little bit of light in there, see from the window, so it's going to work here. Traffic Jam, let's see, the Go Zone, Irken Armada Invasion. These are stages that's not going to work. It's not going to work with the magnifying sun ray. So you'll want to have a stage with light when you pick her. So it creates something like, it's just something a little bit creative, something different that I came up with this particular character that I never came up with any other character for y'all requests. So this is just something that could be utilized as a little technique. So, well, I know I want to play Dora the next match, but it might not be my best stage. But you want to be able to use this magnifying sun ray because it's going to be pretty powerful. So it could be one of her strongest attacks. But you have to combo it with a stage that might not be your favorite, and just because it might not be your favorite, but it has that extra light that you need, or that light, or that sunlight, or just some kind of light on that stage for you to be able to use this ability. Meanwhile, you'll probably want to pick a darker stage where you're going to pick as a door, see if you get the stage that you need, so that way she can't use this technique. But just to wrap up, for her recovery, she has these stars from the show. This happens. It wasn't at the beginning of the seasons, but later on in the show, she runs into all these different stars that help her, and they were so handy, and they could be used to help Dora out during the show. And they each had their own super abilities, so the developers could utilize this as a variety of stars that could be active in the battle for specific bonuses. So this could be something that could be used for Dora, so she could get extra help. So if they can't call upon Boots, Benny, and her best friends, she can call upon these stars that could be combo. But it's too many stars. So I thought just maybe picking one particular star to help her out to create some kind of recovery move. So the stars could help her get on the stage for a variety of stars to get back onto the battle or onto the stage. So I thought this could be a little perfect idea to fit for her recovery. So I thought this could be something for her stars. It's too many stars for her to select upon, so I'm not sure how the developers could really utilize this particular technique. But I only selected one particular star, the Saltador, because it had the power of super jumping, or the super jump. So the rocket star allowed them to also go fast, for example. But this is two different stars that could be utilized for this particular this moveset for a recovery move. But I'm not sure what you guys would think about this as far as her abilities and maybe just the stars, but they could be utilized for a moveset. I'm not sure what you guys are probably end up thinking as far as her moveset for a recovery, but I couldn't really come up with anything else as far as being climbing in onto the stage for a magical rope. But I think the stars could really be a good fit for her recovery move.